Hi, Poff. This is Mr. Irk. I'm going to be doing an informational interview with Mr. Barker, and we're going to learn more about his career. I'm here with Mr. Barker, who is a POF parent. Welcome, Mr. Barker. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
We're basically going to be exploring his profession, and he's going to be tying in how it connects to school. What training or how did you decide to get into this profession? And I guess explain your profession a little bit to us, Mr. Barker.
Okay, well, I'm a paramedic. I work right here in Quakertown. I've been doing it for the last 15 years. I started as an EMT, which basically is the low man on the totem pole type of thing. And we helped the medics out as an EMT, and I grew from there and kind of just wanted to help people overall, just make a difference in somebody's life when they're having one of the worst days of their life. That's really what kind of drew me towards medicine and helping people overall.
Okay. Oh, that's excellent. I know it's something that I am inspired by, when I am seeing your work and in action and everything. So thank you, for your service.
Thank you.
What training or schooling did you have to go through to become a paramedic?
To start out, all of us are typically EMTs first. That when I took it was about 6 months. I believe it's about 8 months now of training between trying, whether it be backboard to somebody, bandaging, taking their vital signs, which is like blood pressure, heart rate, breath sounds. Stuff like that. That's the beginning. That's, like I said, in between 6 to 8 months, depending on which class you go through and stuff like that. I was at an EMT for about 5 years on an ambulance, learning as I was going, which helped a lot when I wanted to become a paramedic. At that point, it was another year of very vigorous training. I was in class for 40, 50 hours a week, plus my full-time job at 40 hours a week. So my wife, who was my fiance at the time, no, wait a minute, she was my wife, really didn't get to see me much for about a year. That program was, like I said, a year to 18 months, depending on which program you go through. And it's very, very vigorous. We were on an ambulance, we were in class, we were in the hospitals going through different rubrics and stuff like that. But overall, so from the very beginning to the very end, you're looking almost 2 years, 2.5 years to get it totally done. So a lot of hours.
That does a lot of training. And what does EMT stand for?
EMT stands for Emergency Medical Technician. And there's different scopes of that. There's the very, very minimum, which is basically your first aid, is a EMR, which is an emergency medical responder. Then it goes up to the emergency medical technician, which gives you basic life support, which is like your vital signs and basic bandaging again, and just the basic stuff. Then my level, which is the paramedic level, I can push medications, start IVs, do cardiac monitoring, some advanced airway stuff, whether it be putting a breathing tube into somebody's throat to help them breathe, and stuff like that. And then it goes on to the nurse, the pre-hospital nurse, and the pre-hospital physician. So there's many different levels out here in the field, and we continue to grow as a career too. So from 10 years ago or even 5 years ago until now, what I can do in the field is drastically different in many, many, many instances.
Yeah, I did not know most of what you just said. So thank you. That was really helpful. So what are some of the tasks that you do, like on a regular basis, and what kind of things involve the things that we're learning in school, reading, writing, some of the math things that we're working on?
Actually, I'll walk you through like a typical call scenario, because actually every single call we do pretty much all of that. So we'll get dispatched to somebody that's hurt, injured, whatever it may be. At that point, we're already thinking of what's going on, what we might see to the point, and as we're responding and obviously driving out to the scene. Once we arrive on scene, we find our patient, and at that point, we're asking for medication lists. So we're reading all their medication lists, trying to figure out, using critical thinking, to figure out possibly what those medications might have as far as medical history goes. So like if we say like an albuterol inhaler, we know they're going to have a lung disease, whether it be asthma, COPD, which is a chronic obstruction in the pulmonary system. To the point where we're writing all those things down, trying to remember them, because I'll be honest, I don't remember them all the time. To their allergies we're writing down, to everything that we're writing down is pretty much going to be delivered off to a hospital and into our report at the end. As far as math goes, everybody weighs themselves in pounds here in the United States. Well, unfortunately, in the medical field, we use kilograms. So we're doing conversions consistently from pounds to kilograms for the weights of our patients. Not to mention a lot of our medications that I can give. The one that I use a lot is a pain medication called fentanyl. It's kind of like morphine, but it works a lot better and a lot quicker. That's all weight based, and that's all based on kilograms. And we have to do this all very quickly, very accurately in order to do that. So we're using math and writing and all that kind of stuff. Write very quickly and very accurately from the time we meet our patient to the time we get to the hospital, which is anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, depending on where we are and which hospital we're going to. And then afterwards, we have to write a full patient report of pretty much how we went to the call, what we did on the call, and any interventions that we might have done. And it's all got to be time stamped in order and everything like that, because at that point it's a legal document, and anybody that would need to read it, whether it be a physician in the hospital after we're done, for if it's an accident or something like that, a lawyer, believe it or not. I can't tell you how many times my records have been summoned for a lawsuit or something on that order. So the writing of our charts are very, very, very intricate and detailed and everything like that. So we use all three of them on a daily basis and multiple times a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like every call, basically, because
every single call.
Yeah, when you get there, you're reading and trying to assess the scene, and then you're writing things down as you go, for your report, to report back, and then also when you pass it off when you get back to the hospital, and then all the kilograms to the pounds, and that's great. Actually, that's the unit we're doing right now. It
works out perfect.
We're metric units and conversions.
Yeah.
That's great. So all the things we're doing in school do translate into a career.
Absolutely. And it's funny because I remember being 4th, 5th, 6th grade, even as a senior in high school, I'm like, I am never going to learn this. I'm never going to need to know it. And I use it every single day.
Yeah, that's great. So what are some of the best parts about your job?
The people. Honestly, our patients are phenomenal. We range. I've brought people in the world, and I've seen them leave this world. So it's not only is it our patients, but it's also their families. We do a lot with families, and one of the best feelings in the world is when you know you make a difference in somebody else's life, whether it be just to hold their hand while somebody else is one of their family members is having an issue that day, or they may break a leg or a hip or whatever the case may be. While we don't get a lot of thank yous, that to me is one of the best things. And there is no other feeling in the world when you bring a life into this world either. Like that is one of the neatest feelings ever you can do. And I've had the pleasure to bring in 3 baby girls in the course of my career as a paramedic alone. So it's cool actually. And actually, I think one of them, I want to say one of them's 12 or 13 now. So
That's great. Wow. Yeah. But yeah, that is really neat. You know, and as I'm been thinking about your profession, you meet like the entire spectrum of our population. So
absolutely.
you're meeting all different kinds of people, and I guess oftentimes meeting them at a critical moment. You know, so that I really see you can have that impact of comfort and care, you know, as they're going through that. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh, well, hey, I really appreciate this. I'm really excited to share this with our students, and thank you so much for taking the time and answering these questions for us.
No problem at all. Thank you for having me.